Well, good morning, everyone. I'm trying to get my screen set up here. There we go. Well, good morning again. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for the very last day of the year, the 31st of December, 2019. Well, yesterday we had a 333 portal. The numerology, the year, the month is the 12th month, so 1 and 2 is 3. It was the 30th day, so that reduces to 3. And let's see if I can see this. Yes, and then the year, of course, reduces to a 3. So that means we had a 333 portal. Anytime you have something like that, it's a gateway into something new. And in the case of the 3, you're looking at mind, body, spirit alignment. You're looking at energy that's catalytic. Think the triangle. Let me look here. What I have on the 3 triple aspects. Let's see, past, present, and future. Hecate is represented by the number 3. Again, triangle, the Norns of Fate. Is a 3 resonance. But basically, I think that what we're trying to do is bring everything into some kind of a still point. Yesterday we had Degas as our rune, and so hopefully maybe we'll even have it again today. Who knows? But the idea that we're transitioning from one phase to another is been what's been happening. Well, since 2018, we talked about that as well. You know, there was an 11 energy. That was a master number for enlightenment, the number 11. This next year, though, as of tomorrow, we're going to be in a 22 year. So another master number, double the size of the 11 as the cosmic builder, the most powerful number that we have. So when you see that, we basically saw that whole experience reinforced yesterday with the focus on magnifying the catalytic nature of what we learned the year before. You see? So this is an exciting time energetically. To pull Degas out of the rune bag yesterday was just incredible. It was like goddess or source energy saying, hey, we need to pay attention now. You know, we're transitioning into something new, something where we're going to let go of what was and move into something new. And the astrology today also reinforces that. Let's take a quick look at that. Against the moon at this, I did the astrology as of about, a little after 10 this morning. So moon's still in the first house of Pisces right now. It moves around the houses, so right now it's still in Pisces. So take time out, focus on your health and well-being still. Let your intuition guide you today. Transition's not easy. It can be quite emotional, especially if you're having to face things you haven't wanted to face before, and you're trying to make sense of all of that. It can be quite emotional. So the moon in Pisces will not help you there, other than to suggest take some time out. The sun is in the 11th house in Capricorn. Our relationships are still favored. But one of the things that I think it has to do with what I was just talking about. The sun is conjunct both nodes, both of the moon's nodes. Now, what it's telling us is we need to let go of pain and hurt, and move forward. So it could be something that we're shifting perceptions that maybe weren't serving us well, and maybe they were based on grievance or hurt or some kind of perception of somebody did something. So maybe you're going to let go of that now, and you're just going to see, enough of the pity party. Maybe, I hate to use that. That's such a so let's not use that. But maybe for some, you're hanging on to something you shouldn't be, and maybe you are in a pity party. I don't know. But it also could be that you're letting go of someone in your life who's been just way too toxic. And so if you're in a situation, maybe you've just decided, you know what, I'm just going to have to go my own way now. And it's not that you can't circle back and get together with these people or this person. Again, it's just that right now you just need some time away. Again, the moon's in Pisces. So, you might have to make a decision. But on the other hand, because the moon's in Pisces, you might want to wait before actually making any kind of real decision there. Mercury's in the 10th house in Capricorn. Connections with others are favored. Maybe moving into a new position or changing directions today or during this time. Mercury trine Uranus. Originality is going to be favored. But a square with Chiron, again, was that true today? Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if we're still in square with Chiron, so I'm not going to say anything about that one. Venus in the 12th house in Aquarius. Today might be something where your attractiveness is based on, or people might see your intellect as your most attractive feature. It's not that they don't see you as an attractive person. It's just that, you might run into somebody that, just finds you intellectually stimulating. So if you are looking for a new partner, maybe that's where you find it. I don't know. Mars in the 9th house in Scorpio. You're going to be exploring some options today. Oh, that's interesting. Why did I copy that there? That's for something else. Anyhow, that's for I wanted to talk. I'm going to talk about a new affiliate, and I put that there. Why did I do that? But in any event, you just kind of want to be careful. There's a trine with Lilith and Mars today too, where that might reinforce the more primal, instinctual kind of thing today. So with intuition being strong, hopefully it'll be in that regard and not, in terms of Lilith and her manipulative side. So anytime Mars and Lilith are having a good time together, it's not always a good thing. So anyhow. But here's the thing, something that sort of aligns with the Sun conjunct the nodes. Saturn in the 11th house of Capricorn, we're going to, again, assess relationships and associations. Some may end. Conjunct Pluto, things are unstable right now. Saturn conjunct Pluto, it's an interesting one. I believe that it aligns, again, with the Sun conjunct both nodes of the moon. So here, instability right now, change is occurring whether you want it or not, want it to or not. If you like change, then this instability might be your bailiwick, But if you don't, if you find it difficult, again, the moon's in Pisces, might be emotional. But this is the time, where you're going to want to take stock and let go of things that don't serve you anymore. And if it's attitudes and beliefs that are keeping you separate from other people, that may be what it's talking about. Be willing to let go of the conflict and the separation and the division that you have with other people and move forward together in this new year of 22 energy of the cosmic builder. So anyhow, let's go ahead and set that aside and move on into the reading. Oh, one other thing, Teachable. Teachable is a cool website if you are somebody who wants to go and create online course content. I mean, they do everything for you. They provide you the platform to do it. They handle the payments. It's just an incredible site. Tens of thousands of entrepreneurs and instructors have used Teachable to create and sell their online courses. So if you're interested in that, down below the video, there's a link to them. You don't have to scroll down too far to get to it. It's in the top part of the affiliate links section below the video. All of the links that you can get to me, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, all of those, on Stellar, which is another cool platform you might be interested in if you're into the alternative community, UFO stuff. You'll find all of those folks over there. That's a really fun place, by the way, on stellar.com. But again, if you're somebody that likes to create online courses, or you think you might, you have a skill that you want to offer people, check out Teachable. Use the link down there and see what it has to offer. You might find something that, you might find a way to make some passive income, right? You set up a course, you sell it, it sells itself after that, right? Well, you're going to sell it, but I mean, ultimately, people are going to talk and more people are going to sign up and they're going to take your course. And so it's just a way, once you do it, you know, unless you interact with your students at all, which I'm sure you would, it's just a fun way to make some extra money. So in any event, think Teachable, click on it, click on the link below and see if it changes your life. So let's go ahead and get started. And if you haven't been here before, I'm going to take 3 cards. I'm going to take the 13th one each time for randomness sake. I may take a 4th. I don't know. We'll just see what comes up. But then I'm going to take a rune out of the rune bag from the Elder Futhark, and we're going to see what it has to say, how it aligns with everything. And then we're going to follow up, oh, there they are, with a geomancy rune, which I'll use my 4 primary elemental geomancy runes here to create the glyph or the symbol. And that's usually one that's either an outlier or it's something that's at the heart of all of this. So in any event, let's go ahead and get started and take our first 3 cards. We have a 30, this is a 31st, and so it's the opposite of 13, but we have a 4 energy for today, so issues of maybe structure. Here we have the magnification of the 4 with the 8 of Pentacles. Again, though, structure, isn't it? Working on one's craft. What are we building? Let's take our next card. Well, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So more issues of security and foundation. Again, on this 4-day. Let's see what the 3rd one has to say. Well, temperance, moderation. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move temperance to the center, and we're going to have that be the guiding force for the other 2 cards. So we'll talk about that first. Well, first let me see what the numerology is. So we have 8. Let's see. We have a 14, so that's 5. Well, 8 and 5 is 13, isn't it? So we have a 4 energy. So really issues of material security and foundation, family, home, hearth, work, all of that, everything that contributes to the physical manifestation into form, just basically our material life, our physical presence in the world. And when you see the card of temperance, you're talking about balancing will with emotion. Fire with water. This is an incredible card. This is a card of change. So you could say that there's going to be a signaling of the change in the material side of life. You could say that where balance is restored, perhaps. Maybe relationships have been out of kilter, and that's part of your foundation, and those are coming back into balance or harmony. But that's basically what we're talking about. If you are making a lot of changes structurally within your life, you might want to balance will with emotion when you're doing that, so that you're not getting so carried away with your judgments and all of that, and then you're not so emotionally wrapped up that you cannot gain clarity when you're doing that. So there must be some clarity issues that need balancing with respect to home and hearth today. And the material side of things, our foundation. We see the angel. Again, it's fiery wings. 1 toe in the water, 1 foot on the land. You see the water irises there to his left, our right. You see a pathway through the mountains there. Again, you see the dual peak, right? You see the sun rising over them on the new path, or illuminating a new path. Now, you're going through the mountains, so whereas there might be some challenges, again, structure, think structure as well, think foundation. There's a breakthrough with that, and the sun is shining on our path forward, or our path to temperance. You don't really know the directionality here, do you? So you can sort of make this work for yourself then. But here the angel's balancing water with fire. You see the elemental fire glyph on the angel's, the top part of the angel's gown. You see the sun as a disc on its head, on the angel's head. And source presence emanating from that. So, a new spiritual way forward, basically. We get off kilter here in form. The most obvious example of that is patriarchy, where will and emotion, the projective and the receptive presence is out of balance. And so will is here, and the receptive presence is here. Now, if you want to look at that in terms of masculine and feminine, you can understand how patriarchy has done this. And the left side, the passive side, if you will, has taken a back seat to the will that's out of control. And so now we're trying to, and it's affected our foundation, basically. And so now we need to figure out a way to build a new way forward, and we begin to do that with the 8. You see the town in the background, a little bit of a demarcation line that you can barely see, but the seat that he's sitting on sort of acts as the same. But we've been talking about this little demarcation line between one thing and another. So whatever was the foundation before, he's creating something new now, and he's working quite diligently. The 8 is a leadership type of number. It's a higher level of shared purpose. So think the rune Tiwaz when you see the 8. In fact, Tiwaz is an 8 energy. It's the 17th rune of the Elder Futhart. And so you're talking about leadership, you're talking about strength, you're talking about somebody that's taking charge and taking command and making things happen for others. Think maybe guiding force here with the 8. And here we have the Knight of Pentacles, who's looking forward into the future. He's on his almost iridescent black steed. Don't you love totally black horses? They almost shimmer. They're so shiny, But here he is on his shiny black steed. His visor is up, so there's no battle. He's offering safety and security to the tribe, to the group. In a way, it's almost like this is the same guy, isn't it? So when we're balancing this with temperance, basically what we're talking about is we have to have the strength of our foundation. In other words, it's not that we have it, it's that we are trying to create that foundation and a better one that can take us collectively into the future. We might explore life in seemingly separate bodies, but energetically, when we're not focused into these little, things called bodies in this thing called the universe, we're part of the greater aspect of the Creator, the energy of the Creator. We're part of that in the astral realm, and in the astral realm, we're one. It's how empaths know things. It's how people that are psychic know things. All we're doing is we're accessing the collective awareness, where all of that stuff gets, focused and created from. We make different choices here. You know, the choices that we've made, Temperance is suggesting, maybe have been out of kilter between will and emotion, and it's affecting our foundation together. It's affecting our ability to move forward together. It's affecting our ability to have a, well, I mean, you look at the foundation that's being threatened right now. People that are used to getting, accessing the social safety net of the country, that's being threatened. Food stamps are being threatened. Social Security is being threatened again. Medicare is being threatened again. All of these things that we've all paid into to provide a social safety net, to provide this, is now being threatened, and we're having to reestablish that now. And that's really what this is about. Once you bring everything into balance, and you no longer have one side oppressing the other, then it's a lot easier, you know, when the dust settles, to see what needs to be done, isn't it? After the big windstorm comes through, you go outside after things calm down. You don't go out there during the windstorm, you know, unless you're trying to grab something as it flies by, maybe, but beyond that, or trying to stop some damage, maybe, I suppose, but that's a temporary fix, isn't it? You have to wait till the wind calms down and things settle out and things come to balance, things become more temperate. And then you can rebuild. And again, you know, we had the 3-3 gateway yesterday. We're moving into a 22-year. And I think that this is reminding us just exactly what that's all about. You know, if you were to reduce the 22, you would have a 4. So again, you know, but you're not going to do that because it's a 22, so you're not going to do that. We don't really ever, unless you're trying to find an overall numerology of something, you know, like for an entire month, you don't generally reduce the 11s, the 2s, the 33s. You don't do that. You leave them alone. You can include it in an overall one that you're going to reduce, but otherwise you're going to look at them individually. And so next year is a 22 year, and it's the year where we come back to one another. We have Laguz, 21st rune of the Elder Futhark, a 3 energy, flow. Magically, Laguz can be used in trance work. If you wanted to chant Laguz, you could do that as you're drawing. Think of it as a magical hook, if you will, to hook your energy and pull it back to you. If you want to use it as a visualization, you can do that. But the idea is the flow needs to change, and that something needs to change. And so Laguz, you know, likely aligns completely, maybe not numerologically, but in terms of flow and change and moving in a more temperate, you know, with a more temperate attitude to things, where will and emotion are, you know, we get carried away on either end, don't we? Will and emotion. You know, either one can involve judgment. Either one of us, either one can have us believing things or acting upon things that, you know, in a way that just does not reflect the truth when things get so out of balance. Again, think patriarchy. You look at everything that's going on now, and you really can't, I know it sounds cliche, and you really can draw it all back to that initial imbalance in terms of polarity, in terms of who we are as people, who we are to one another. Let's see. Oh, yesterday we had Pur. Today we have Puella, the opposite of Pur. So yesterday we had Pur, and we were talking about some unstable energy. Think boy energy, young boy energy. Well, here we have its complement, Puella. So here's Puella. I'll turn it upside down so you can see Pur after I show you Puella. This is a young girl, a little bit older than the young boy. This was Pur. but this is Puella. Geomancy has actually only 6 runes to it, or not 6, but 8 glyphs to it, but their complements make it 16. So there's 16 geomancy glyphs. But what we're talking about is still some unstable energy, but we can make that work for us, the excitement of youth. Now, Puella's a little bit older, maybe a teenage girl, whereas Pur is maybe 10-year-old boy, maybe, in terms of energy. So Puella's going to maybe be a little more superficial, and we're going to have to guard against that. It's easy to pretend that we've changed, but really we're just giving lip service to it. And so if you want to think of Puella then as somebody who gives lip service, who's maybe a little more Gemini oriented, a little more superficial, real chatty, real flighty. It's not that a Gemini person can't be, a good friend or anything like that, because they are. It's just sometimes their heads are in the clouds, and so they give an air of superficiality, whereas maybe they don't mean to. It's just what they present to others. And so you have to be careful that when you're balancing will with emotions, that you do so in full authenticity and not give lip service to something that you cannot sustain later. Because we're at a point collectively where things must change. And it can't, and the illusion that we've all lived with all of this time, thinking that, we developed, that's where the whole politically correct stuff came, right? Where people were then afraid to actually say what they thought because they're going to offend somebody. It won't be the way that everybody thinks. And so you'll be then ostracized by the group. And then that gives rise to purity tests, politically, and all this other nonsense, which is simply an illusion. We can have a goal in mind. We can belong to a certain group. We can have a set of beliefs, but we need to then show that. You don't behave one way or think one way and behave the opposite. Trust me. Someone like me, I'm going to know. Being an empath, I know. I sense the difference. I sense the emptiness between. Which, if you're empathic, think about it for a moment. People who do that live in such a passive aggressive, if you will, experience in life, where they're at both ends of the spectrum. They say one thing, but then you call them out. Oh, well, I meant the other. And they never truly connect with the fact that they said the other, that you're calling them out on. They're just going, oh, no, I didn't mean that. But they do that all the time. Experience that energetically, feel in, and see if you don't feel a void there. It's weird. It's like you're wanting to grab them, and bring them to the middle. Say, no, come here where I can see you. People like that more than anybody probably need to understand how to balance will with emotion, because that's at the heart of that. They've never been able to reconcile any of that. And so they can't, it's like in psychology, where when you're trying to figure out, is the face that you present to the others actually who you are? It's the same sort of thing. People notice, and they're going to think about you in a way that's not authentic. They're going to think that you're a liar or that you're not an honest person, when you have such a wide disparity. And when you see yourself one way and other people see you the other, again, there's a passive-aggressive type of experience that you're having. And you need to come to the middle. And you basically do that with temperance. So that's just a side thing, having really nothing to do with the reading necessarily. But it's the whole thing that when we come into alignment, that's what we're talking about. So, and here, whatever this imbalance that we've been experiencing in our lives, it's been one of choice, and now we have to choose a different way and choose a different path. The sun is rising in between the two peaks. Clarity is possible. Purity is possible. Transformation is possible. Tomorrow, we build anew. So, in any event, how was that? So, I guess that's it. Come back tomorrow. This is getting exciting, and see what we have, because tomorrow is the new year, and I'm going to be here because I want to see. I want to know what's going to go on, and I again, we've been seeing a pattern where we are learning new things and we're processing them and we're finding some kind of alignment and some kind of, awareness that we're gaining, some awakening we're gaining, and now we're ready to move forward tomorrow into the future, into building something new, or maybe the realignment of polarity, both within and without. So it's going to be exciting. So we'll see you tomorrow. Check out the blog, Stepping Aside. Oh, I forgot about the newsletter. Go over there, either up toward the top on the side panel. I think it's before my picture, because I have an About Me section right there with my picture. I think it's above it. And it says the newsletter. And you can put your email in, hit send, and it goes to this MailChimp place where I do my newsletters. I just started this, and it's going to have magic stuff in it. It's going to have herb stuff in it. It's going to have some affiliate stuff at the bottom, of course. There'll be some, I'm going to feature 4 different companies that I promote, but that's going to be down at the bottom. It's got a section there for the books I've written. It's going to have the current lunar positions. It's also going to have an astrological forecast for the week, just a generalized one though. You're going to have some links there to some of the videos I've done. I've kind of started a Foundations in Magic series or Esoteric Studies series. I don't know. Maybe we'll just call it Esoteric Studies, and that way it can kind of have different things, but they're of an esoteric flavor. And so there'll be some links to that, as well as some past, posts on the blog or current ones from the week before or something. But anyway, I'm working on the next edition, the second edition. So get your subscription in now, and you'll see that next Sunday in your inbox. So I don't plan to use this any other way, just for a newsletter. It just sort of calls together. There'll be some things in there that aren't going to appear on the blog. So just check that out. But that's kind of the focus it's going to have. Also, there's the Patreon page if you want to support me over there. There's a link to that below as well. I think I also included a link to the newsletter post. So if you scroll down and you just want to go to that, you can go down, you can read it and what it's all going to be about. And then you can go down to the bottom and there's one of those sign up boxes down there for your email. And then it says send. And again, that's where it goes. And so that's the new stuff this year. I was talking about a different direction, and this is what it's going to be. So I don't know, a weekly newsletter. It's going to have a divination section, but you'll see. I've already gotten most of next week's done, or maybe 2/3 of it. And so I've added new stuff. So, stay tuned and subscribe. I'd love you to do that. So, my blog, Stepping Aside, over at imsteppingaside.com, all the stuff below the video, and we'll see you tomorrow. So thank you so much for coming by. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.